my name's Joe Murray, and I used to work with Alasdair Gray and worked for him for many years. I was his typesetter and I helped him with the digital design of many of his books. Now, I'm very happy to have been invited along here today to read from Lanark, which, as many of you will know, was or is the 40th anniversary of the publication of the book by Canongate. And I'm very happy that Canongate has invited me along here today for you in commemoration of Alasdair on what is Alasdair Gray Day, or Gray Day. and I'm very happy to do so. But I'm not going to read from the book. What I'm going to read from is the storyboards of a screenplay that Alasdair wrote for the film of Lanark. Don't get too excited, because as far as I know it's not getting made anytime soon. But in 1983 Alasdair was contacted by film producer Ian Brown and the director Sandy Johnson, and they commissioned him to write a film script of Lanark, the novel. And working with Sandy, he produced about 75% of the script with storyboard, which is drawings showing scenes and camera angles. The film was planned to run for about 3 hours with an intermission. Remember them? Some of the older ones will. And the script interested and pleased many filmmakers, film technicians, but unfortunately it didn't. No financiers. But what follows now is me reading parts of that screenplay based on episodes from chapters 5 and 6. And I will try and put some of the illustrations that go with the storyboard, but I have to apologise up front in that I don't have the original storyboards. Obviously they belong to Alasdair, but when he gave them to me many years ago to scan, I had to down sample the scans to fit on the website, because that's what they were for. So they might appear a little bit blurry because I've had to explore them up so for the film. So they might appear a little bit blurry, but I think they will go along with what I'm saying and maybe help make it a little bit better. My rotten reading anyway. So here we are now. Lanark, a fragment of an intended screenplay. Lanark, a fragment of an intended screenplay, written and drawn by Alasdair Gray based on his novel Lanark, published by Canongate, voiced by Joe Murray. Rima's attic. A downward close-up of 2 blue-striped mugs on bare floorboards. Each contain black coffee essence and brown sugar. Beside them is a sugar bowl, a bottle of camp coffee essence, and a half-full bottle of brandy. Rima's hand pours boiling water from a small electric kettle into each mug. She sets the kettle down, lifts the brandy and adds some to both. The camera pulls back to show an attic with so low a ceiling that one can only stand upright in the centre. A mattress made up as a bed covers a quarter of the floor. Lanark's shoes pull over and tie beside the bed. He lies on it with his back on the pillow, shoulders against the wall, watching Rima, who sits at the bed foot with her back to him. Her duffel coat hangs on a hook on the door in the wall beyond her. A chest on the floor, left of the door, has a table lamp on it, beside 2 old dolls, a china baby and a cloth Dutchman. A Swiss pendulum clock, chalet-shaped but handless and motionless, hangs right of the door, and a stringless guitar leans in the corner. On the wall facing the bed, a row of hooks support hangers with Rima's other clothes on them. Her shoes are in a row on the floor beneath. Elsewhere, the wall has small childish crayon sketches of green hills and blue seas pinned to it. A 2-bar radiator with curved reflector shield is plugged into the same wall socket as the kettle. Despite the poverty of these properties, the appearance is cosy and pleasant. Rima almost smiles as she turns to hand Lanark a mug, saying, "You probably won't refuse to drink it." Lanark, "Thanks." He sips. She turns her back to him, nursing the mug on her lap. He stares at her. Lanark. You're kind to me. She doesn't move. Did you come to this city long ago? Rima, dryly. What does long mean? She sips. Lanark. Were you small when you came here? She shrugs. He puts down the mug, goes over to her on his knees, lays a hand on her shoulder. Her only reaction is to close her eyes. Lanark, timidly. Do you remember a time when days were long and bright? A tear trickles from under one of her eyelids. Lanark cannot see it. He puts his other hand on her other shoulder, softly pleading. Let me undress you. She doesn't move. He unzips the dress at the back and draws it down to her waist. Her shoulder blades under the brass strap are green with scales and prickles. Lanark, delighted. You've got dragon hide. Your shoulder blades are covered with it. Rima, still not moving, and with contempt. Does that excite you? Lanark. I have it too. Here. He shows his gloved hand. She faces him. Rima says harshly, Do you think that makes a bond between us? He places his fingers on his lips, pleading for silence, and continues undressing her. A short sequence of close-ups show Rima's head and shoulders as, with open eyes, she endures, not shares, his love-making. It soon ends. He collapses flat beside her after a final grunt of relief. Lanark, gasping. Oh, thanks. Oh, thanks. She stands up and looks down at him. Well, was that fun? He gazes at her, confused, then defiant. Yes, great fun. Rima, how nice for you. Talking, she turns away and pulls on jeans and a sweater. The camera concentrates on Lanark and his growing horror. Rima, you're not much good at sex, are you? I suppose the best I'll ever get is sludding. Lanark, you told me you didn't love sludding. Rima, I don't, but I use him sometimes, just as he uses me. He and I are very cold people. Lanark, why did you let me come here? Rima, you wanted so much to be warm that I thought that perhaps you were. You're just as cold as the rest of us, really, and even more worried about it. I suppose that's what makes you clumsy. Lanark covers his eyes with his ungloved hand. You're trying to kill me. Yes, but I won't succeed. You're terribly solid. Dressed now, she bends and slaps his cheek briskly. Come on, get up, get dressed, get out. He stares at her, then stands and adjusts his trousers and shirt, not looking at her at all. She hands him his tie, which he stuffs in his pocket, and pullover, which he pulls on. The shoes are the slip-on sort. He puts his feet in them. Rima goes to the door, takes her duffel coat from the hook, opens the door and stands beside it, holding up the coat for him to slip his arms in. He stares at her. Rima, implacably. Goodbye, Lanark. He walks straight past her and out the door. The stairs. A low-angle shot from midway up, Lanark, stone-faced, descends, blocking view of the top. Rima's voice. Lanark! Lanark! His head descends out of view, revealing her at the stair top, coat in hand. The sound of the street door opening. Rima. Lanark, take this! She flings the coat into the camera. Blackness. Sound. The street door slams. Ends.